You're listening to Navid Moosa of the Mindset Movement. Good day, good people. My name is Navid Moosa. I'm your host today and always for the Mindset Movement, the podcast, as well as navidmoosa.com. First-time listeners, thanks for giving us the opportunity to earn your trust. And long-time listeners, well, thanks for the loyalty. We love you guys just as much, if not more. What we do here is do our best to bring you guys value in. If you want to be a little bit better than you were yesterday, we want to help you achieve that journey. We want to help you achieve that goal, rather. So without further ado, no fluff, no stuff. Let's get into it. I want to talk about the job you want and the job that's in front of you. A lot of the times, in my opinion, we see something or we want something for whatever reason. We're not here to discuss the reason. We're just here to discuss what it is that you want. And when you want this particular job, for example, you're aiming for that. However, to get there, sometimes you must do other jobs. And so I'll never forget the scene from a movie franchise, and the guy goes, you want the job, but the job that you want, you need to get by the job that's in front of you. And so what he was basically saying was like, listen, you got to climb the ladder. You got to climb the baby steps. And it doesn't matter if it's in corporate America with the W-2 or if you're an independent contractor, if you work for yourself. Because even if you work for yourself, you still need to learn the aspects of running your business. It's not just if you're a truck driver, getting in the truck, driving the truck to point A, making the delivery and coming back again. There's little nuances in between, right? There's logs you have to keep. There, when they audit you guys, they audit the drivers. There is when you get to the destination, and when you get there, you're hoping to unload in 2 hours, but you're just sitting in a parking lot waiting for a parking spot for 2 hours. And then you sit there waiting another 2 hours, and they start loading 2 hours later. Next thing you know, 8 hours later, you're leaving. And the other job you had waiting for you, now you have to reschedule or you'll be there late. Now you're rushing. So it's the logistics in between, right? In that case, even if you're a real estate agent, there's things in between as well. It's not just sign the contract and let's go to settlement. There's things in between. There's home inspections, title companies, title reports, conveyancing, potential township or borough inspections, requirements of filing if it's investment property, for mercantile license, business license, landlord license. There's all these little things in between that have to get done in order to get the settlement. So when we look at here's where I want to be job-wise, career-wise, and we don't get there immediately, we get disgruntled, we get disheartened. And we get that way because we're not patient, in my opinion. Number one, none of us are patient. We're on-demand society as it is. But number two, and probably more importantly, is that we need to respect those baby steps. I mean, I know when I got into flipping houses, that's all I wanted to do was flip houses. But to be honest, flipping houses sucks, in my opinion. It's horrible. I just created a job by doing that. However, I had to ask myself, well, what don't I like about it? Right? The money was good. It was exciting to see a project go from this to this, getting a diamond in the rough and just making it a diamond on the red carpet. But what I got to respect was the contractors who do the work, the plumbers, the electricians, the carpenters, going out, getting supplies and making sure everything's in place. And, the GCs, the general contractors, who oversaw the full project, and all the subcontractors underneath them as well. I used to actually go on site and actually, I put in light switches and plugs and help cut drywall and hang up drywall and stuff like that, just so I could understand that process. Because someone tells you, oh, it takes you a week to do something, and if you've never done it, and you're like, well, you need to put this over here, and that's going to take you a week. That's ridiculous. But have you done it yourself? No. You haven't done that job. And because you haven't done that job, you can't respect or understand what they're telling you. Now, I'm not saying that everyone gives you realistic timelines. Some people milk it. I understand that, and that's fine. Not well, that's not fine, but I get that. I'm talking about the legit people out there, which there are more than we realize, first off, who actually want to do a quality job for you, who want to do quality work for you. And with that quality work comes with time. And we need to look at these small jobs that consist within the bigger job, right? So if the job is to get a house looking like a mansion, okay, what's that look like? Is that new flooring? Is that new electrical? Is that new drywall? Is that new paint? And if it's all those things, then you have to do them step by step. What's the purpose of hanging new drywall if you need to break into the walls to run new electrical? What's the purpose of getting painted started right away if you need to break down some of the drywall? Right? So we need to look, in my opinion, again, we need to look at the jobs that are in front of us to help us understand the bigger job or the bigger picture of things. And we get lost in the end game. We get lost in the goal. We forget the task on hand. We forget the smaller job on hand and just go straight to the goal. I saw this picture, meme, if you will, and it had two ladders. One ladder had like a step every 6 inches. Another ladder had a step every like 3 feet, for example. And it said, do the small steps. Because the image showed a ladder with, because every 6 inches or so was a step, very attainable. Next step, next step, next step, next step. But the ladder that showed a gap of 3 feet in between each step, that's not as attainable, not as easy as attainable. So the amount of effort you have to get from point A to point B can be triple than if you just did the smaller steps and get there. Slow and steady wins the race. I've said it a billion times. I'll say it a billion more. Slow and steady always wins the race. So it's just something to think about that. Don't get frustrated. Don't give up. Don't quit. You have a goal in mind. Remember the goal. Remember that it's going to take you some time to achieve it and that there's going to be hurdles along the way, these small jobs. So that's what I got for y'all this week. Each and every week, I end the show the same way. And listen, first-time listeners, if you enjoyed it, that's awesome. Please share us, like us, subscribe. Also follow us on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. And the handle is @MrSaveAHome. Each and every week, I end the show the same way. And that is just do right by the client. Do right by the client and everything else will fall into place. I promise you. Do right by the client and everything else will fall right into place. And sometimes the client is you. Be good to yourself. Be good to each other. Be safe out there. See y'all next week.